Prime Minister Dr. Michael Holness was speaking to supporters at Paul Bogle Square in Morant Bay, St. Thomas last night. Along with him was James Robertson, Dr. Michelle Charles, local government Minister Desmond Mackenzie, and a lot of others from various places. They come to point out to supporters all that happened, what must expect and what should be done for election.
Welcome you tonight to the capital. Behind the platform once stood a place that was responsible for the changing of Jamaica's history. The Morant Bay Courthouse holds an important role in Jamaica's history. Labor rights, Jamaicans, we must never go back to the days that we are coming from. We must never allow PNP to take control of Jamaica again. Continue the struggle. Edward Siaga, you Shearer, Donald Sangster, you Scolding. And 1 p.m. unto Holness has continued this struggle to free Jamaica. Let us never make the mistake of allowing those who never hold Jamaica in good esteem. Labor rights, Jamaica is moving in the right direction. The thing that is bad for Jamaica is the people's the Jamaica Labour Party. A parish that was mashed up by PNP. I wonder how many of you know that St. Thomas was designated as the industrial parish of this country under Robert Lightbulb and the Jamaica to manufacture light bulb in St. Thomas, who mash up the light bulb industry. The largest Goodyear outlet in the world, right here, who mash up Goodyear. You are the first satellite station to be established in this part of the world, here in St. Thomas, who shut it down? They want to come back to mash up St. Thomas. They take St. Thomas people for idiot. And so tonight, as we gather here, let me remind Levites that no is no win election. Telling Andrew Holness how much you love him can't win election. Votes is what matters. And every man and every woman here tonight must ensure that you go out on the 3rd of September and ensure that you run late beside the road. Because we know that the country has been safe in the hands of Holness. The country is not safe in his hands. One-term Prime Minister, two-term Prime Minister, three-term Prime Minister. Frame of mind. For St. Thomas is done. Let's welcome Michelle Charles. Another councillors of the St. Thomas Municipal Greetings, Senator Roland Morgan. Give him a big hand. Alright! Try to do as quickly as possible. Thank you, first and foremost, St. Thomas, for your warm welcome as we made our way through your beautiful parish. Some months ago, some people are run up and down a call for elections. I know the Prime Minister has announced it, and as my granny said, as my granny used to say, fire, they are must steal. They're deep. I'll tell you this. Just about 10 years ago, we came here to your beautiful parish. We were in opposition at the time, and our Bogle Prime Minister was serving as opposition leader at the time. And at that time, we were embarked on a series called Prosperity Live. It was a series where we came to lay out our plans, but also we came to hear from you, because we're a consultative party and we put you, the people, at the center of what we do, St. Thomas. And I can proudly report this evening, I can proudly report to you in Western St. Thomas and to those of you who hail from Eastern St. Thomas that our report card is looking good. Because 10 years ago, when we assembled here at the Moran Bay Anglican Church Hall 10 years ago, there was no highway here in St. Thomas. When we assembled here, people used to take step and take liberty with you guys here in St. Thomas and call it up the forgotten parish. When we were here for Prosperity Life 10 years ago, there was no Moran Bay Town Center here in St. Thomas. There was no new social housing program where we give people concrete structures to ensure that they're living in dignified conditions. Labor rights, lest we forget. there was no JUTC service here in St. Thomas. And so, Laborites, we are proud of our achievements. We are proud of the service your members of parliament have been rendering. And we are indeed proud of the advocacy, the representation they have been making on your behalf. Because I put it to you, Laborites, Michelle Charles has been working day in, day out in service to you here in Eastern St. Thomas. Over in the West, James Robertson has been a right. You have some people over there, so they have a very arrogant view. It is their belief that the seats that they lost in September 2020, that they are somehow going to come and waltz through the door and take back those seats. But sir, notice to them here. My granny used to tell me, old woman a plan for Callaloo, old woman a swear after Callaloo, and Callaloo a plan to run our belly. So ensure you right. You get up and you make your way early to the polling stations. And over here in the east, you will deliver Michelle Charles for her second term of office. And you will deliver James Robertson for yet another term of office.
I didn't remember. But the next person to greet you this evening is no stranger to Eastern St. Thomas. Actually, he used to run up and down with his father when his father was a member of parliament. Let's welcome now to greet you this evening the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Colonel Charles.
Let me acknowledge our deputy leaders, Mackenzie and Robertson, Deputy General Secretary Wheatley, Senator, candidates to be members of Parliament now, James Robertson and Dr. Michelle Charles, councillors, mayor, and all of the Laborites that are here tonight. Good night to you all. Now, I won't be long, but I want to tell you, tonight I was thinking very seriously about the future of Jamaica. And I had to be here, even though we have a lot to do in Clarendon, because I want to give my support to make sure that the entire Jamaica understands the importance of getting up, getting out on September 3rd and making sure that James Robertson and Dr. Michelle Charles are returned as Member of Parliament for St. Thomas Western. St. Thomas is where Charles' family has to give thanks. You took care of my father when he was Member of Parliament. Some years ago, I was here as campaign manager for Patrice Charles. And now, I am proud to stand before you and to say thank you to you for taking care of my big sister, Dr. Michelle Charles. But to all the Jamaicans who stopped me in the supermarket and faced themselves with me to tell me that I look older than her, let me just make you know straight. She's my older sister. I am the youngest child. So don't come to me and ask me, how is my little sister? I'm going to tell you a story. When I was a young man, there's a day when the chief found out, Uncle Desmond, that instead of going to extra class, I was finding myself doing extra class at a friend's house. And so he called the teacher on the phone. Look, them time I never have no cell phone. It was the phone where you have the intercom. And it was me, Michelle, and my father in the room. I remember vividly, he called the teacher and said to the teacher, how is Bogle doing? She said, you know, Mr. Charles, I didn't mean to ask you because I haven't seen him for 1 month. Anyway, if you know the chief, you know, say the chief hand quick and him hand strong. And I'm going to tell you, those times when you're a young man, you feel you're a bad man and you can stand up. So when the chief said to me, boy, you don't have a class, stand up. And I said, so what that mean? Listen, all I can remember is when the chief right hand go up to 12 o'clock, as it start come down, I remember Michelle jumping, block the hand, grab me, and run with me. Let me tell you something. Michelle is a warrior. Michelle is the kind of person who will defend you. If you want to go into a battle, you want Michelle beside you. You want that kind of person who will be there for you, even when the hand of the chief is coming down. Not to mention James Robertson. James Robertson is a man who you don't want to play with. James Robertson is a kind of politician that any politician who come in St. Thomas Western and take him lightly, you are an idiot. James Robertson has been here for years, and you are going to see him here. You are tired to see him face. But between Dr. Charles, the warrior, and James Robertson, the soldier, St. Thomas is in good hands. I say this. Earlier today, in Southeast Canada, myself and my team, we erected a banner, which you might have seen on TikTok, where the PMP put up a banner said, time come. And we put up a banner beside it said, to choose Jamaica. I might tell you something else. While I was here, sitting down, I got a message that the PMP, under the cover of the night, went up and took down our banner to choose Jamaica. I want to tell Jamaica who is listening and watching, that is exactly what the PMP intend to do to Jamaica. They will tear down anything that is positive that the JP has done. Time come, but they will not have any reason why the time to come. The PMP is not to be trusted. The PMP only have bandolo plans, broken promises, and public figures. Every single Jamaican voter, listen to me carefully. If you are a Jamaican voter, if you support the JLP, if you don't know who to support, listen to me carefully tonight. You must be vigilant. Vigilant means don't make anybody come in your ears and tell you what you must do. Think for yourself. God give you 2 ears and a brain for a reason. When you look at where Jamaica is now, why should we as a country, that's why a government that is reducing crime? That's why a government that give us that kind of urban center that is better I feel uncle this man. I feel it. But the last thing, we have to protect this government. And it's not a joking thing. Labor rights, we have a responsibility to protect Andrew Holness. The bad mind PMP are praying against him. They want to see us strip. They want to see us fall. Don't respond to them bundle of foolishness. Stay on path. Stay focused. And on September 3rd, vote for who? We want to move quickly because our leader has been there going through it. Let's now invite the hard-working Deputy General Secretary for the Sierra Council, who has been doing a fantastic job. Let's welcome colleague and friend, Dr. Andrew Weekly. St. Thomas is where it all started for us as a people. We are here in Bogle Square for a reason. The people of St. Thomas gave us Bogle. Bogle fought for our freedom. In fact, labor rights, when we go to the poll on September 3rd, we must remember the sacrifices of Paul Bogle and others in how they fought for our freedom as a people. If you look at what the other side is offering, it is a total disgrace. If you look at the quality of our candidates that we are putting forward in Michelle Charles and James Robertson, compared to the two others, I don't even know their name, right? But just look at them. Look at them. It is quality that we are putting forward. Let you go talk about the Chaka leader. We are about the quality of representation that we have gotten over the last couple of terms from the Jamaica Labour Party in St. Thomas. You had one man who was Home Minister General. What did he do while he was here in Eastern St. Thomas? All he could do was and make promises. You have a member of parliament in Michelle Charles in Eastern St. Thomas that fought and delivered for the people of Eastern St. Thomas. James Robertson stood with the people of Western St. Thomas from we were in opposition until now, and he has delivered on the promises and the commitment to the people of Western St. Thomas. Jamaicans, we cannot make no 3-card man come fooling. We cannot allow them to come and enslave us again, labor rights. Jamaica, look at the quality of representative that the Jamaica Labour Party is putting forward across the length and breadth of Jamaica. Hands down, labor rights, we don't have to come on stage and talk about Ray and Blade. We can speak to our achievements as a government over the last 9 years. It is quality, not quantity. You know, labor rights, Jamaica, gone are the days when you can come and make promises. Gone are the days when when you can just talk things and don't expect the Jamaican people to look beyond the words. We are a society that is thinking. We are a society that don't believe anymore in promises but on quality of deliveries. You have a government that is being led by Holness. That if we say we're doing something, we do it. We don't go there and people back and make promises and then change your mind. It is a government that you can trust. As for labor rights, we must say yes, it is indeed the right time. The time is here that we must continue to choose the Jamaica Labour Party. The time is right, labor rights, so we put aside partisan politics and choose Jamaica. That is what your party, the Jamaica Labour Party, stands for. We are putting Jamaica first, and every decision that we make, every candidate that is of Jamaica. We have some work to do. On Monday, we are going to nominate our two candidates for St. Thomas, East and West. We are going to ensure that the other 61 candidates are nominated on Monday. Well, labor rights, we are going to put our backs to the wheels. We will not listen to any lies or fake polls that they will come out with. You know what about style labor rights when it comes to election, them buy a poll and sell them a leave. But I have traveled the length and breadth of Jamaica. And right now, labor rights, the PNP don't stand a chance. When we hear them come with them lies and them false poll, all they're going to do is to work harder and take out to neighbor because we are poor to neighbor. Show
He came to this parish many years ago, and he has been a long-standing deputy leader of this party, member of parliament for St. Thomas Western, hard-working, strong, committed. Strong, dedicated to the cause. Let's welcome Deputy Leader James Kappa came to St. Thomas 2 weeks ago, and that Chaka Kappa said, when he looked at the crowd, he did not say St. Thomas West, St. Thomas East, how are you? He said, Chongolis, how are you? We are in a special place tonight, Bogle Square. But time is not with me for me to give you a history lesson. I will give you a little warning. In 1981, she was a labor right. In 1993, she was NDM. Somewhere around 2002, she was PNP. In 2008, she was a labor right. And you don't know what is she? My sweet 91-year-old mother is watching tonight, and she's telling me to behave myself. I won't tell you what she is. I will only tell you she chaka. Brother Charles
PNP to put St. Thomas first. Time come for PNP to put Jamaica first. Time come for PNP to put down that chaka leadership. Deputy Leader Desmond Mackenzie, it is always a pleasure to be in your company. You have served the Jamaican Labour Party. You have served Jamaica. And the order of Jamaica OJ is well deserved. I want to hear it for Deputy Leader Desmond Mackenzie. You know that I don't care. But when General Secretary, Deputy Andrew Weekly called me 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he said to me he wanted me to come and be in his constituency with him and address his constituency. I had to go. One good turn deserves another. Welcome. I am going to go very quickly. And when I give back the little lady the booklet I borrowed from her, I'm going to find out how many of you remember how Chaka Mark Holness and the PNP. And I'm going quickly tonight because we have to hear from our one Prime Minister. Went to Parliament, and when our Minister of Finance back him up and finish him off, he said his budget presentation was a fairy tale, was make-believe numbers, he was just capping. Chaka. They released a manifesto, and when the young senator to my left read it and look at it, he said they're coming out with phase 2. Is that the real plan? They're going to adjust the plan. So good God, after 5 years, you put out a manifesto, and you're not happy with it? You're ready to throw it away and give us different manifesto? Who could trust a Chaka PNP and Mark Holness? The PNP has been campaigning for 5 years to retire to see them. But when Donkey on the track by himself, Donkey look fast. Put Donkey beside a good horse and a champion like our number 1 PM, and Donkey disappear in the dust. He go around Jamaica and he said he's going to build house in the swamp in St. Mary. He's going to round Jamaica, and I have to remind him that it was the Chaka PNP that tried to build house under Operation Pride in the river in St. Thomas, right here in York. It is that man, Marky G, that referred to our urban center, the best in the Caribbean. And he referred to it as that little thing. He is rude, he is condescending, and St. Thomas is going to reject Marky G and the PNP. You cannot come to the most historic spot in Jamaica, Bogle Square, and you want to be Prime Minister of Jamaica, and you can't show us a birth certificate. Good God, I saw every media house, even the ones that we know are not friendly to us. Every media house asked Marky G about the man that he put to run against me, who hold on to 15 acres of government land. Good God, chaka chaka man, answer, what is that? Trick the people, tell them they must not sign no lease, regularize themselves and fix up themselves. The man tell them he mustn't do it and mash up meeting. When I tell you, Marky G, I am going to send that man to answer for everything that only is fighting of the police in that government. Yourself water cloud. Water cloud. I ask you tonight, when you was the deadlift mayor, did you ever, as deadlift mayor, fix one rural water supply? I have about 16 more things to put on them to show you how chaka chaka they are. But the last one I give you, can you believe that man looked at world commodity pricing structures and said, I can give you $22 for coffee. I can give you $20 for a barrel of oil. That man is a joker, clown, and chaka chaka. I'm going to move on tonight, because we can't waste no more time on chaka chaka PNP. When I came to St. Thomas, it used to take 2-3 hours to leave Yalos and go cross boarding after boarding. Now, you get to St. Thomas, not even 15 minutes. Tell you now, St. Thomas. Under our Prime Minister, our party leader, Holness, St. Thomas Western alone has 7 bridges under contract and procurement. Go on any website. That is history, and Jamaica Labour Party must say thank you and all of St. Thomas to our Prime Minister. Nobody is in our league. When you realize that we have 2 institutions in our new urban center offering our people, our St. Thomas people, university certificate degrees, I can tell you that is what Paul Bogle wanted to see. That is the dream of Paul Bogle, and nobody can take that from us now. I am going to make it clear. When they tell you that pound for pound, I am the #1 performing member of parliament in Jamaica, we're not taking it back. No constituency, as West St. Thomas has done, has transformed the life and the landscape as we have in West St. Thomas. We are no longer the forgotten parish, and we owe Michael Holness for that delivery that was. We have the best road in Jamaica from Harborview to Marante. Marante to Cedar Valley. Escape. If a man give you shoes, who is the best man to finish the work and give you socks? The Jamaica Labour Party will be returned in St. Thomas East and St. Thomas West. One will turn to another. Education. They can't talk to me. If I look to my left, I see doctors that have become doctors under me, working with them as member of parliament. If I look to my right, I see lawyers that don't go anywhere. Police stop me and say, you help me go to school. West St. Thomas has done more to help people in education with the little resources. We have transformed thousands of lives. Every bridge we built, every bridge that's going to be built We are building it. I only want to tell you this, man. I am proud to be the member of parliament of Western St. Thomas. I just briefly want to say something on what James said a while ago. The St. Thomas Municipal Corporation used to have offices here. Let's welcome leader of the Jamaican Labour Party. The Prime Minister and his people. But let me now introduce to you the Member of Parliament. We are the road leader from this morning, going through the length and breadth of the constituency. And I can tell you, she look good. She sound good. Everything about her is good. Let's welcome
Let me acknowledge our Prime Minister. Say, show our Prime Ministers. Let me acknowledge our Deputy Leaders. Minister Desmond McKenzie, thank you for being here. You're a part of our class now, Desmond. Let me acknowledge James Robertson. Say, show up. On the west side, who have always had my back. Thank you, Councillors. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Wingley, for being here, and my little brother. Thank you for being here as well. I am going to be short because I've had a long day, and so have you. But you feel good? I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something serious, because our Deputy Leader James Robertson went through and explained to you all what is seriously why we're here and the seriousness of it. This election is not a time for confusion. What we say? This election is not a time for what? And the Bible says a double-minded woman is unstable in all her ways. We do not need instability. We need strength. We don't need flip-floppers. We need fighters. So I have a message to my Auntie Rose. You cannot trick us. You cannot twist us. And you are definitely farmers, we want the Morant Bay Urban Center. We want the rehabilitation of the park that is coming. We want the museum that is coming here. We want more house. We want more road. We want more jobs. We want more prosperity. I know that we are going to ring the bell for the Jamaica Labour Party. We say so much Prime Minister. We do Jamaica.
The night is far spent. But I want you tonight in this square to open your minds for what is to come. Sunday, because this is solemn ground we're standing on, because you asked me the time, 1 p.m. What we do, blessings upon you and your family and your household and your personal welfare and prosperity increase unboundedly. May God continue to guard us, keep us, and guide us. We do nothing without His grace, without His anointment. And so I stand here purely by the grace of God. You know, there's a song by a famous rapper, and the song says, many men force my voice tonight, so you know this one was very calm. But no weapon people wonder why is it that I don't respond with all the lies and the darts that they throw at me. I don't respond because, you know, one of my favorite characters in terms of their life story is Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. And you know, Muhammad Ali, he had a style they call it the rope-a-dope. You know, so the boxers who are tackling him, they just throw a punch at him, and he would lose. And then eventually, the devastating blow from him knocked them out. So don't worry. The 3rd of September is coming.
let me commend you and this lovely crowd that is here. This is purely a St. Thomas crowd. And this is a quite sizable meeting. I mean, I hear that there is something going on somewhere else, but you know, this looked like it could compete. Yes. So, I have a few things that I would like to say to you tonight. The first thing is that in 2015, almost 10 years ago, I toured your parish in a program called Prosperity Live. And I believe it was at the Anglican Church. Right, yes, you remember that a young lady said in that meeting, Prime Minister, it is as if my parish is forgotten. The PMP have had this constituency for decades. The road, water, housing, terrible condition, unemployment high. And I left there with something riveted in my mind. She said, St. Thomas, don't you never stop light. But the one that stuck with me. And I'm not making any promotion for anybody. But she said, St. Thomas, do it have a KFC. In other words, what she was saying is that the typical signs of development were not in this parish. Thomas was punished because of where we are standing now, the rebellion. And so when the colonial government took over, they sought to develop other parishes but neglected here. So St. Thomas was always behind. And I took that into consideration and I decided that at the first opportunity we must rectify that. We need to ensure that St. Thomas is developed. In fact, we must ensure that every parish has a certain level of development, that all its residents can feel comfortable and enjoy a quality of life that they deserve. The question, my friends, is how to do it without running into debt. That has been the problem that no government of Jamaica has been able to solve until the Andrew Holness-led government of Jamaica. I'm now not only speaking to the residents here in Bogle Square, I am speaking to the wider Jamaica for your consideration. For the last 50 years, we have been financing our development by debt, borrowing. That has created a big problem. It has made us vulnerable, exposed to changes in the global economy. And worse, if you borrow money and you don't use it well, then it makes the problem much worse. Because if you were expecting to get money from what you invest in and you don't get it, then you don't have the revenues to pay back the money that you borrow. And that, in simple terms, has been the problem of Jamaica. Since this government, what has happened? I want you to listen carefully. We took over the debt at somewhere around 130% of GDP. Now GDP sounds like a big thing, but bear in mind, all GDP is what you produce, is what you produce, is what you over there so produce, is what the vendor produce, what the bank teller produce, what the teacher produce, what the policeman produce. You put all of that together and you say that is a gross product of Jamaica. If you take everything that everybody in Jamaica produce, what we owe is 30% larger than what we produce when we took it over. So if Jamaica decided in 1 year is going to pay back its debt, after it pay back the debt, it would still owe 30%. Today, 10 years since, if we decided to pay back our debt today, we would pay off the debt and still have about 38% left for ourselves. The economy changed. The economy changed. As a result of that, when we took over the economy, the country, the society 10 years ago, unemployment was somewhere in the region of 13%, meaning 13 in 100 persons who are looking for a job couldn't find job. You know what the unemployment rate is today? It is now 3.3%. Only 3 persons in every 100 that is looking for a job. It is a different Jamaica today than what it was before. It is a better Jamaica today than what it was before. I'll give you one more statistic about how Jamaica has changed. We have cut the murder rate by almost half. When we took over, the murder rate in Jamaica was somewhere in the region of about 49 per 100,000. Meaning 49 persons were murdered in every 100,000 population in Jamaica. Today, you are somewhere, if you annualize it, to about between 25 and 20 per 100,000. Murder rate up in half. This is a better Jamaica today than it was then. We have done a lot more things, you see, and which is why we have produced this book, and I see a lot of you have it here. And I tell you about this book. We have given out over 50,000 of this booklet. So I'm corrected by the Deputy General Secretary. We have given out over 100,000 of these booklets. And I can tell you when something is valuable, I have never seen one thrown away as I move around. People fold it up, they put it in their pocket, they carry it, it's a keepsake. It's the first time that any government can document its achievements. And these are not fairy tale, these are not speculative, this is what we have done. We have done all of this, spent $9 billion on our security forces, and you know what? $90 billion, forgive me, on our security forces over the last decade, and we have not increased for it. We have done something called the reverse tax credit, where if you earn less than a certain sum of money, the government gives you back $20,000. We have announced, and which has started the solidarity program, and we have been giving back all kinds of things to the public, and we have not increased borrowing. Now, today, as I walked a community, a teacher, a young man came up to me, had his phone, and these days to say, because everybody has their phone up recording. So he came and he greeted me, shook my hands, had his phone up, and he said, "Prime Minister, I'm a teacher." And you know, when I hear teacher, you know, my eyes light up because I was a teacher. I was Minister of Education. I know the value of teachers, I know the value of education. And he said, "Prime Minister, you have to do something about the wage offer." And he had his phone up. And I know he was hoping to catch me in an unguarded moment. But you know my mouth don't slip. You know that you will never get me at the mic and then I go. My brain is always engaged. Sometimes people look at me and they say, "Where are you, Prime Minister?" I am deep in thought. Because yes, people like gimmicks and they like the smile, but my job on your behalf is to think on things deeply. The first solution, the most popular solution, the thing that seems like common sense, is not always the best solution. What you will get from me, even in an election, is the best solution. The challenge that we have faced as a country, why our debt went out of control. Yes, poor management. Yes, foreign exchange devaluation. Yes, external things over which we have no control. But a large part of it is that governments could not reason with their population to explain the decisions that they have to make. And therefore they make decisions on the basis that they are trying to please the voting population, but end up harming them. I'm going to make a point to you today, and I'm not just making it here to the crowd, I'm making it to the Jamaican people. And I made sure to look it up. Don't want to make any errors. But Jamaica has had wage freezes. You know what a wage freeze is? A wage freeze is when the government of the day decides that it is not able to make any increases to public sector wages. And it explains that to the unions and say, we can't do it. And they try to get the unions to agree. We have had wage freezes in 1976, in 1977, in 1978, in 2004, 2005, 2006, 2009, 2010, 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, 14, and 15. Mostly under the PNP. And you know when the wage freezes have occurred? The wage freezes have occurred largely after the government has given a wage increase. I want all Jamaicans to just go and research it and think on it carefully. Now, the challenge of any government is how to increase the wage bill without at the same time increase borrowing or create a fiscal deficit, a gap between what you earn and what you have to spend. The only government so far that has been able to crack that code is the Jamaican Labour Party government administered by Andrew Holness. And we were able to do it going through the most comprehensive and the largest ever increase in public sector wages. It comes up to about $6 billion over about 4 years. The largest increase that public sector workers have ever got. That's the global picture. Now, I am the first to admit that it was not perfect, that there are still anomalies that must be resolved. And our process of resolving anomalies is through a well-established system of negotiation. Currently, the government is going through a process of negotiation. And I just want to say here that I, Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, I respect every public sector worker, and I want to see you get the best pay that you can get. I want you to listen to me good. I want you to listen to me very carefully. My mother worked in the civil service for over 30 odd years. She worked in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security dealing with NIS. And even though she's so committed that people still going to her to ask her to help with their NIS issues because she became so good at it. But she lived and took care of me and my sister on a public sector worker salary, which was very small. At the time of my graduation, I asked her to buy me a Clark's shoes. And she said to me, Andrew, I don't have the money to do that. Wear the shoes that you wear throughout the year. Go to your graduation. You will be in a gown. Nobody will see it. So you understand why they always have my Clarks. Understand who you're dealing with. You have to understand my life experience. People say, why you don't tell your story? I don't wear, in other words, where I come from and my experiences should not entitle me to leadership of the country. What should entitle me to leadership of the country is my performance. In today's world, where people are trying to say to you, don't judge me on my performance, judge me on my promise and rhetoric and gimmicks, then I probably have to put who I am and why I make certain decisions. Now, of the opposition and say to all the teachers and the public sector workers, yeah man, I'm going to give you the world, as previous politicians have done, and then turn around and stick you with a wage freeze. This country made a huge sacrifice 10 years ago to break from fiscal recklessness, and it hurts my heart to see the PNP try to reintroduce fiscal recklessness through its various promises which do not make any sense. All it is going to do is make you feel good and jump up, and then when the reality strikes, because of any bad management, the reality may strike because of external factors. And when you spend all the money and you don't have what is called the buffers, the reserves that you put aside for the difficult times, then the people feel it. So think of it, how have we been able to increase the wage bill massively and still bring down the debt? Good government. Good government. A politician who I invited to speak at my conference from one of our sister islands, I'll never forget it. He said that you have to be careful. You have to be careful that what you have worked so hard, you all have sacrificed so hard to get to this point where our economy is doing well, that all it takes is one careless person to come and kick over the bucket. One careless person. But what you have built up using teaspoon to build up your savings, one careless man come with a shovel and take it away and waste it. So I say to all Jamaicans, we are in a good place. Don't let election promises disturb that. You will pay for it after elections. But let me go further to say that our teachers and nurses and all our public sector workers, it is my intention, not just my wish, to see that you can be guaranteed increases in your pay without compromising the economy. That every government, including my government, must negotiate with respect. We must negotiate transparently and with respect. We must engage our partners, the unions, with respect. And so while I hear the issue regarding the offer, I also hear the issue regarding timely response and respectful negotiations. And I make my commitment to you here tonight that we will ensure that you have timely and respectful negotiations, and that there is a credible and reasonable offer that will not damage you in the future. I ask all Jamaicans, who every sector is now looking for more. What a difference. 10 years ago, at this time the government was telling you can't get any wage increase. And everybody had to accept it. What a difference. Let us not kick over the bucket or shovel out our savings. let us be cautious, let us be careful, let us be smart as a people about where we are and what we have accomplished. Together, we will have a partnership for prosperity every Jamaican will be able to fulfill and realize their dreams and aspirations. If every public sector worker looks on, conclude that their situation would have improved, it may not have improved as they would like or relative to another group, and that is a legitimate cause for negotiations for improvement. But let us not argue as if this administration has done nothing, because that is not true. Not true, absolutely not true. I want to move from that subject, and I want to talk to you now about something that is of importance to you within your parish. I commissioned a poll of 23 seats across Jamaica. It's a very deep poll, very detailed, and the sample size is very large. The poll revealed what the critical issues are that government should address. And you know, it's always a puzzle to me when we see what certain media may carry as a matter of high importance, or certain commentators may carry as high importance. But what we have picked up, which is universal to every Jamaican, are two things. People are concerned about roads and water. Those are the two critical things that every Jamaican has a concern about. Roads and water. 10 years ago, when you looked at all the surveys, what Jamaicans were concerned about. The top 5: crime, unemployment, poverty, roads, water. Today, nobody has any concern about crime. Nobody has any concern about joblessness. Nobody has any real concerns generally about poverty. By the way, housing has now come up as another area of great concern for Jamaica. Housing, land settlement, and title. That in itself shows you that this administration has dealt with some of the most intractable problems that have affected you, and we have literally dealt with them or put them on a trajectory where they will be no longer concerned. Now, we must move on to deal with the problems that are top of mind for you. There is no doubt that we have done an amazing job on building out the highway network. Why is it that we need to do the highway network? The highway network gives you the fastest economic return. Think of it this way. If there is a highway that's efficient between Manchester and Kingston, and there are jobs in Kingston where people in Manchester could fill, then having a highway brings employers from Manchester to Kingston quickly. This is an economic benefit. If you don't have it, then the person who is looking for a job will say, "Why Kingston too far, bus fare too high," the inconvenience. So highways help economic activity, increase revenues for the government, which we then take to fix the roads that lead from your house to the highway. Right here in your parish, we are fixing the main spine through the parish. Not just that, we have put in place now a bus route. So people from St. Thomas have greater convenience to get to Kingston. But the reverse is also now true, because I can tell you that I am aware of over 8,000 houses that are in planning to the point of being close to breaking ground in your parish. These are not NHD houses. Private sector is now coming to invest in your parish. We have at least 3 hotel projects for St. Thomas. And now, the Bogle area now comes into play as a proper potential port. To move aggregate and other materials which are abundant here in St. Thomas. So what has happened is that we have not just built the urban center and the road, we are building out your own economy, where if you choose, you don't have to leave your parish to be employed. You can be employed right here. In the next decade, St. Thomas is going to be a totally different place. You're going to feel it, and you are already feeling it, and I can tell why you're going to already feel it. Your children, many of you are now trying to send your children to the best primary level education. I looked at the statistics here, and St. Thomas has quite a number of private primary schools. I found it a curious thing. And your schools have improved in their performance. The next generation of people who live in St. Thomas, born here and grow up here, their outlook is going to be different. Their prospects are going to be different. But for the people who are here now, like the gentleman who stopped me last year and said to me he didn't have water for a week just before back to school, because he would normally take water from the stream, but there's a mining operation above him which muddies the water and he couldn't use it. These are simple issues that local government and the Ministry of Mining and Agriculture must deal with. These are issues that affect you, but sometimes they go under the radar of governmental authority. In our next administration, in the same way that we have launched a program called Spark, where we have allocated over $45 billion for roads, we're going to launch a similar program for rural water supply. We're going to set ourselves the target that within 5 years, every community that is surveyed as feasible will have potable water to their homes. You will be able to build your ensuite bathroom, go in it, turn on the pipe and say, shower, shower. The reason why it was not done before is because before this administration, almost every year, the NWC operated at a loss. The NWC became a burden on the government. It is only under this administration that the NWC has operated profitably or at break-even, meaning it has not been a fiscal risk to the government. We have transformed the NWC. We are going to go one step further with the Rural Water Supply Company and the NWC with a special allocation to ensure that all of your communities have a water supply system once your community is deemed feasible. And what does that mean? You have a little small community with 5 persons living way up in on top of a hill somewhere. It's not feasible to carry the water there. There might be other solutions for that. But for this, even the ones that are informally settled, we will pair the settlement of your community with the delivery of the water. Ultimately, the next 5 years should see a formalization of communities in Jamaica with proper land titling, proper roads, proper water, and proper ownership. So all of you who live here in St. Thomas and in other parishes which we will announce this program, you get your urban center, you're getting your jobs, you can be assured of a better future for your children. But the inconveniences you now face with bad roads mashing up your cars and no water, those will be the focus of my next administration. When I stand here 5 years from now, I will be able to say, we cut the debt, we cut crime, we cut inflation, we cut taxes, we cut poverty, and then I will say no, we cut bad road, we cut lack of water, and we cut bad mind.
I hope you pay keen attention.